this, the more you practice. You might go on somebody's blog and see different games that you can play where you identify parts of speech. And just like math facts, the more you practice, the easier it gets. Same thing here. But until you get to that point where it's automatic, you need to have a process. Please don't move that around. I appreciate you taking the time to play that role so we have something that we can upload, but I don't need a cinematographer.
Okay, I just didn't know if you, oh, never mind.
Thank you.
It's not important.
So that we're still going to follow the exact same process. So for those of you who are feeling a little overwhelmed, or recalling a time in your life where this was really tricky, what we want to do is help you have a process that you follow the same way every time, and we're going to increase the likelihood that you're not going to panic and you're not going to just start guessing random things. So when we look at letter A, it comes right from your packet. Felicia's never studied for a test. We know we can identify subjects. What's the subject, Brendan?
That would be the test.
Who or what is that about?
Oh, Felicia.
Correct.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Kennedy.
Stop.
What's our verb? Felicia what?
Studied.
Okay. Any helping verbs there?
Has.
You got it. Felicia has studied. Now, some of you in middle school were required to memorize your prepositions. And that was pretty handy, because you know that when you memorize a preposition, it makes it pretty easy to identify your prepositional phrases. And we'll come back to that in just a second. But the point that I want to make for you is that never is your adverb. And what this illustrates is one area that you can look to find adverbs is between the helping verb and the main verb. Adverbs kind of camouflage themselves and they hide in verb phrases. Now they don't always do that, but there are words like never and not that are adverbs answering the question, to what extent? Felicia has studied for a test. To what extent has she studied? Never. To what extent has she studied? Always. So these are words that we put right in our verb phrases. They tell us a little bit more about the content, and they're camouflaged right there. So when you're identifying adverbs, you've got this list of sentences, and the directions are identify the adverb. And you aren't necessarily sure where to begin, well, follow the clues. Is this what you see happening? Do you have an adverb hiding there? Let's look at B. Her grades have been slipping recently. Oh, Montana, what's the subject there? What are we talking about?
Her.
Her? We would use her as a subject of a sentence. Her eats jerk chicken tomorrow. Does that sound right? What's that? What are we talking about? Her grades have been slipping recently. Grades. There you go. So don't panic if you get called on, all right? There you go. Nate, what about grades?
Slipping.
Okay, any helping verbs?
Have.
Okay. You think that's a helping verb? It is. It's a form of be. Be is a verb, so grades have been slipping. Second shortcut for adverbs. Words that end in ly. Recently. Most words that end in ly are adverbs. Not all words. Every once in a while you might describe someone as being lonely. That ends in ly, but it's an adjective. It's describing a person. Most words ending in ly are adverbs. They are modifying verbs. Just like in A, not every adverb ends in ly. There are plenty of adverbs that don't end in ly. But again, if you're looking at a sentence and you just aren't sure, and they aren't camouflaged in the verb phrase, maybe you can find an ly word And you can see it's answering when. When were her grades doing that? Recently. You're good to go. C is really tricky. Can of soda for anybody who gets the first try.
Wait, let me see. I gotta try for this one.
I think I know what it is.
C is different on this.
Make sure you know it.
Stress out would be stress would be the verb.
You tell me what the adverb is.
The adverb
Be what?
is be.
B? Nope, sorry.
Two.
Can of pop's off the table now. Anybody think they know it? You know the can of pop's no longer on the table? Ryan, you think you know it?
To be.
No, not to
Or not to be.
Montana? No, a drink's still a preposition. Go ahead, Taylor. What's that? For C? Yeah, I don't think you're on the right one there,
The
Taylor.
one on the board.
Lexi, you got it?
Ow.
No.
Hey, I got it.
No.
Oh, I see.
No.
What'd you say?
Brad?
Wants to be.
No.
Did anybody get out yet?
Hey.
You've already had a couple chances.
We had
Is
anything
it
else?
during these times?
No, that's a prepositional phrase. It's good. Okay.
These?
No, this is an adjective telling you which times.
There isn't.
No.
Once.
No, wants is the verb.
I know it.
See, you guys are proving my point. You have no approach. You're just randomly guessing. You're shooting at a target blindly. You need to identify what you can and eliminate from the options. What's the subject of C? Who or what is this about? No one. We eliminate. That's off the table. It's no longer an option. What about no one? No one wants. We said during these times. That's a prepositional phrase. We'll come back to that.
Yummy.
To be stressed is an infinitive phrase. We'll talk about that in a second. The adverb here is the word
I was going to say that.
out.
Yes, even as Brandon.
Yeah, he was.
He was legit. He was gonna say
I was
out.
going to say it. My first guess.
We had every word in that sentence guessed twice before one person bothered to even think of that.
Well, Nate.
Are you kidding me?
He. That guy.
Good job. All right, and now letter D. Her friend Julie has tried helping you study too. This one's up because this word is an adverb all the time. And as long as you memorize that little fact, whenever you see it, you'll know. No, sodas are off the table.
How about a quarter?
Try.
No, wait. Hey, I got this.
To means also, means as well. T-O-O is always an adverb. Hey,
What would, for C in our thing, what would the adverb be in that one?
That's just your stripes.
okay.
Stop. Do that to Tony.
So now we're on page 3.
Brandon. Do that to Tony. Look at
I'm
that.
not going to worry about you listing prepositions. 2 parts of a prepositional phrase.
Tony. Please. Do them. Yeah, I'm so getting at you.
Prepositional phrases have 2 parts. The preposition
In the object.
and the object. Very good. So you could live around the corner. Around is the preposition, corner is the object. You could travel to the store. To is the preposition, store is the object. All right, every prepositional phrase, preposition and the object. He's going to sit by me at lunch. By is the preposition, me is the object. You get that? Every prepositional phrase. And again, I know that you can see that looking at your gloves. Most of you have links to prepositions and prepositional phrases. That's not going to be hard. However, if you look at the second part here, you can see that sometimes prepositions get confused with adverbs.
You don't do that.
Can't spell.
Yeah, do the other one.
Hey, Anna. I'm gonna be obnoxious about it, dude.
I don't want to.
Dude, you are way too good at that. Is it? You go home and practice that?
No.
Not yet.
Stop eating paper.
I'm not.
Hey, Anna, why don't you worry about yourself? About other people.
Why don't you stop talking to me?
Okay, I will. Stop talking to other people.
Which word's being used twice?
What I want.
Then I can do what I want.
Break you out.
I thought nothing you said makes sense.
Somebody have a book with a little orange bookmark in it, left here last week? Little flower bookmark?
I want a flower bookmark.
Okay. It's up here if you want to claim it later.
That's a Nick's, isn't it?
Stop.
Sorry.
How are those two different?
Or not.
Well, it's a compound. It's got and in it.
Nicholas.
That's bothering me. You need to stop.
What are you smoking?
Cats. See?
Scientifically prove it.
That will not surprise me. Repeat after me. Prepositions without objects are adverbs.
Objects are adverbs.
Let's try this again at the exact same time. Say it with me. Prepositions without objects
Are adverbs.
adverbs. Very good. Prepositions without objects are adverbs. Look at those two examples. Sometimes prepositions get confused with adverbs. Whether something is in or it's in the bucket. Whether something is out or whether it's out the door. It can be that simple. Sometimes it's that simple. If we have the preposition to followed by an action verb, here we go. Algebra lovers.
Dude, I love algebra.
Algebra 2.
Healthy, you're getting kind of excited, aren't you? Healthy, you're getting kind of excited, dude. Hannah, you turned into mom. You better be careful. You might start humping your life pretty soon. He's solid, too. Did you hear that?
Oh, Nick just made me explode.
Nick, he reached his peak.
I got a B minus the second time. I got like a D. This is what she loved me for. Yeah, she loved me for not trying. No, she didn't. Yeah, I told
What
her to
was
change
that?
the number on the top with the bird.
That was a cat dying.
There's an example of an infinitive.
Really, really should. I woke up in the house all day. Huh? Like Friday?
Hannah folds her notes dumb. I fold my notes.
Okay, so there's that. You could identify the prepositional phrases together. I'm not worried about that. Let me read off the answers to the back page so you know what those are. And then we'll review how to study.
Say it slowly. I got most of it.
Knock it off.
All right, here we go. Super is E. To is F. Enjoyed is D. Ring is A. Will is D. So is G. Violence is A. There is B. You is B. Reliable is C. Golly is H. At is F. Tests is A. Go is D. On is C. On is E. On is F. This is C. That is B. Most is B. Burn is A. Flag is D. And fairly is E.
What was like the first 6?